This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
And Michael.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. What up, what up, what up? What's going on, Marks? It's your favorite time of the month. Come on, sit down. Let's talk a little wrestling. Welcome to episode number 114 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. It's DB, it's Primo, it's Michael. AJ is probably going to do a little run-in later. A lot of wrestling going on since we've all gotten together, boys. But first of all, how's life going in your land?
Not too bad. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, getting better every day as I get older and fatter. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean.
Lucha Daddy Primo is back if you're not watching right now on YouTube. The mask.
Yeah, baby. Lucha Daddy came back for 114, baby. Here I am to talk about the wrestling that we missed over the past month, baby. So, no, I'm doing all right, though. Finally on my last flipping college class.
Nice.
You're almost a scholar.
It's my second degree, so. But being an adult in college sucks.
Right. Yes.
When you have a full-time job and everything.
Yeah,
family
man.
And kids. Anyway, I'm not whining. It's all right. Life has been good.
Nice.
So far.
And we all seem to somehow squeeze wrestling into these, busy lives, but you got to make it a priority. So let's talk about what's been going on then lately, boys. Let's rewind all the way back and let's kick it off first on the WWE side, which they've kind of been the most active over the last month. I think a lot has happened there. But let me start off by saying let's go back to Backlash. And first of all, shout out to San Juan, Puerto Rico crowd, because
hell yeah,
that's how you watch a fucking pay-per-view right there, kids. Learn from this crowd. Yes, they don't get a lot of wrestling over there, but they love the spectacle. They were loud. They booed the heels. They cheered the faces and was just totally into it, man. I was just in awe the whole time. They were super hot all the way up until the end. Of course, they went crazy for Bad Bunny, but
they went nuts for Bad Bunny.
Right?
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah. Side of that, man, awesome pay-per-view. This pay-per-view, I didn't expect anything out of it, but it had a little bit of everything, man. Of course, I love the nostalgia part of it, of Carlito and Savio Vega.
Oh, man, I fought for that.
Yeah, that was big, man. That was big. Like I said, the pay-per-view itself was good. I think that was Cody Brock 1. Is what they're almost about to, they're getting ready to do 3 now. So,
yeah.
But that was every now and again, those pay-per-views come along that just end up awesome. And
I think something that helped with that is that the fact that, but beyond the fact that it was in Puerto Rico, we didn't have high expectations for it because it was Backlash. It was a bunch of WrestleMania rematches.
Right.
But it kind of stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, man. I always dump on Backlash because it's never good, and I have to shut my damn mouth this time because holy crap! Wasn't expecting much, and it over delivered in every metric. It was great pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I even liked probably might have been one of my favorite parts of the night was Zelina Vega coming out, in the Rican flag, and
Yeah.
it went
Yeah.
bonkers for her too, man. And
Yeah, dude.
story.
I like the fact that first of all, the Bad Bunny Priest match was way better than expected.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
And it made
100%.
Priest a star. Like elevated. He did the job and obviously helped elevate him to main eventer.
Oh yeah.
Priest.
For sure.
Well, not only that, but like, and this is something I always give you guys shit about with AEW. Every match made sense. The Priest Bad Bunny match made sense. The only way Bad Bunny is going to beat Priest is if he just beats the fuck out of him with a weapon and Priest gets an injury somehow. He tweaks the knee. Bad Bunny works him over with the weapons, hits him with the chair, like 6-7 times?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and he had help.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were run-ins, and even when like he got the Falcon Arrow through the table, Priest picked him up and carried him back to the ring. So it wasn't like he just popped up and was like, let's keep going.
Also, too, like that's... Go ahead.
Everything made sense. That's all I ever ask for in my wrestling. I need it to make sense.
And what's cool is that two things. Number one, Priest accepted his fate and just got the shit beat out of him.
Yep.
And he just took it. And also, he obviously was very safe with Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And Bad Bunny takes wrestling more seriously than wrestlers I've seen on other promotions. And I was like, I really appreciated that. Like, he takes wrestling seriously. He treats it with respect, and he puts the work in. And
it helps he's a megastar already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in Puerto Rico as well. So, like, it was awesome. Great match.
Yeah, it was good. And another thing, too, is, both of them being of Puerto Rican descent, in that match, nobody wanted to do it more than those two guys. So, I kind of had a feeling like, they were probably going, lay it on the line. It was going to be pretty awesome because, they probably may not ever get to do that again. So, but that was super cool. I love this crowd, man. I love that part about it so much. Like, they literally went nuts for everything. I was like, oh, this is great, man. So, so then they went to Jeddah for Night of Champions, which was not too long ago now. As most of us predicted, but definitely I remember Primo, Seth ended up winning the world title. You guys exactly? You guys happy about that turnout? Obviously, but it made sense.
Yeah, it was really the only move. I mean, Seth obviously is on Raw. Beyond that, that was the main thing. Was we know AJ isn't going to win because he's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Even though the draft thing kind of already doesn't matter again, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, and also Seth he definitely deserved that. Like, so he earned that title.
I want to address this real quick here. The "You Deserve It" chants. It's like, okay, here's the problem with "You Deserve It" chants, especially with this title. This is a made-up title just so they could have one on Raw. This isn't the big boy title.
Right.
So this is a "You deserve second or third place." Here's the other thing too about it, and this is always kind of like this has been addressed, but even Styles addressed this too. Saying "You deserve it" acknowledges that they were booked that way. And so saying like, congratulations, good win, things like that. That's how you congratulate a babyface for winning the belt. Because if you say "you deserve it," that means you are acknowledging they were written to win that match. And which also means you're acknowledging they are a character on TV and you are applauding a character for being written as that character. It's a discredit to the wrestler, the performer. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, I completely agree. Seth Rollins is the only choice. He's an incredible in-ring worker. I don't get what his character is. I think it's faux Joker. Ooh.
It's like Liberace Joker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't get it. It's not for me, but no one's asking me to care because I think he's an amazing talent in ring. And so is AJ Styles. They had a really good match over it.
Yeah. Well, let me rewind, though, because I think in certain places you deserve it chants are perfect because
Okay.
let's just say there's the big babyface story coming back,
Mhm.
you know, and, you know, been fighting against the odds, you know, and finally works his way up to championship match, loses, ends
Daniel
up coming
Bryan.
back against. Yeah. There we, I mean, you know, yeah, there's instances we can throw out there, but aren't the you deserve it chants sometimes kind of like, you know, a nod to seeing that the work you put into and all the bumps that you did to take to get to be able to finally hold that title, you know? I mean, that's
So yeah. Like, I see what you're saying. I
like
mean,
like sometimes I think it's okay. Is it used too much? Absolutely. But, you know, sometimes I think it's, you know, yeah, like Daniel
yeah.
Bryan like would be a perfect, you know.
I mean, but even then, though, like, to say that, you know, you do great in-ring work and, like, you know, you got over. I mean, even that right there is saying that you're being rewarded for getting over, which means that you're a character in a TV show.
Right.
Like, that's a very modern thing too, right? Like, you know, that's
Sure.
a very smart marky thing to do. And it's like, you know, when people are cheering the heels, right? To me, it's the same thing. It's like, well, I like this character, even though he's a bad guy.
Right.
And, like, you know, it's to me, it's akin to the same thing of, like, if you cheer a heel, that means to that heel, he's not doing his job. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I get where people are coming from. I just think it's like, I think it's bad taste to tell a character that, hey, we're acknowledging you're a character. Like, Seth Rollins is amazing, though. And I
Right.
get your point with Daniel Bryan because, you know, yeah, he got super over, but, like, also the Daniel Bryan thing, like, fans kind of hijacked every episode of Raw until, like, they got their way. So let's not forget that context.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Night of Champions was, you know, was pretty good, and plus, yeah, I think like they had to have a belt to put on Raw because they were going to initially call this like a real split this time. So here's the part where we can talk about the split, you know, happening. You know, like the brand split. Like, yeah, it's already blurred lines, and you know, but we got a world heavyweight champion now on Raw, so
For those
I'm
of you
happy.
in Radio Land, Primo immediately crossed his arms and looked pissed, even with a mask on.
Well, it's just like, I mean, and the thing is I like AJ Styles and I'd love to see him on every show, but the thing is, like, why did we waste time with the draft?
right.
That's a really good question.
But no, I am extremely happy to finally have a fighting world champion on Raw. You know, so I don't know. The very next night they already had AJ come over and do a tag team match, so that was kind of weird. But you know, hopefully after that, maybe they'll see some feedback and kind of slow that down. I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yeah.
The promo Rollins did on Raw to open the show. You know, this new title keeps getting referred to as like the working man's championship. It's like, that's the IC belt. That's always been the IC belt.
Right.
And that to me is my biggest problem with this new title. It devalues Gunther's championship. Because, like, that means you're making a new title. So say, you know, Universal title / blah 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 blah, and IC title like this, right? You got to make room for that new title to come in, which means it immediately pushes down Gunther's significance because the IC belt was always the working man's championship. And, like, now it's just like they're trying to rewrite history here, and it's like, just give me
Right.
Gunther. I want Gunther more. I want more Gunther matches.
Yeah, they always want to spit out stats all the time, constantly, you know,
Yeah.
about being this long champion and, surpassing this person on the list, and he's ranked here now as one of the all-time greats. Yada yada yada. They're constantly doing doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, and the IC belt was always kind of, in most cases, the heir apparent. Like who was going to be next in the line to make noise after they lost it or went up against Hogan with it, like Warrior did at Mania 6. But yeah, so yeah, but no, I totally agree with that. Like I'm, just kind of like it is what it is, but it's hard to see why they have that belt now. Yeah, if they're just gonna just continue to have whatever they want on each show. But let's move on. Let's talk about the Bloodline story.
Yes.
Fucking still awesome. I'm loving this thing with Jimmy. Go ahead, Primo. What do you think about it?
So this was the main event. For number one, they crowned the brand new champion in the opener.
Yeah.
That's the curtain.
But and that's the most, besides this match, that's the heavyweight championship match was the other one I was super interested in, because not only was it heavyweight championship, but it was AJ versus Seth.
Right.
Anyhow, yeah, man. I thought that the Usos would get involved somehow, and then I saw the spot coming where they were going to super kick Solo, and I was like, "Oh, here it goes! Like this is about to happen!" And just, man, go give Jay and Oscar.
Oh yeah, the Usos are great. They're so good.
Yeah,
they are doing so good. The whole storyline, like my emotions after seeing that, and how hyped I was to see Jimmy kick Roman's teeth in. I still like Roman, but I'm just like the whole thing just had me freaking out. So
yeah,
I was being a total mark.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to touch Roman yet. I thought they were going to get Solo and then kind of back off. And then next time we saw them together, they were going to try to mend things, and then Roman ended up getting his. But yeah, I seen that. I was like, oh, and Roman sold it well too.
I was curious how they were going to do it, because I was like, man, are they going to purposely attack Solo because he's their little brother? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the bloodline clearly coming to an end. It needs to. It's gone a little past expiration date at this point, but it's still hot. So they still have a good time to wrap it up and leave people wanting more for it. So it's a good time to end it. The way they did it really well. I liked the you didn't know if Roman saw Sammy duck and then they hit Solo, or it was just they hit Solo and that's all he saw. So that's really cool. Yeah. The extra super kick on Roman I thought was great.
Oh yes.
They're so good. Roman Reigns is such a good heel. He's so good. He's there's a reason he's the top of all professional wrestling right now, and he's amazing. He's so good.
Yeah, they're going to blow through this whole storyline of the bloodline, and Roman's still going to have the title. What do you guys think of the yellow title?
The yellow title,
the yellow Universal WWE title.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're doing anymore, man. I don't know.
Why? It basically just has a yellow background. It's got Roman's plates on it.
I don't mind it, but it was they didn't oh my gosh. Okay, so it's the new Undisputed Championship.
Mm-hmm.
There's two theories. There's one theory, by the way. But let me get to the championship. So it's the Universal or the WWE Championship, just with a different background.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, they changed the leathers on it.
And it says Undisputed Champion on the bottom. So people are thinking, I don't know if this, you take it as you will. But one theory out there is that since it says Undisputed Champion on it, that maybe this is, remember The Rock's title in 2011, it was temporary. It was before they switched to a completely different title. This could be like after this title, since it's undisputed, whoever gets the next title won't be the undisputed champion anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, here's where this is where it starts getting to be confusing.
Diluted.
Yeah, like how many effing belts do you need, and at what point do they just lose all meaning? Like,
well, I'm assuming he drops the blue one now.
He drops the other two. Yeah, he just carries one now.
He's just going to carry one now. Yeah, because it's undisputed. Okay.
yeah, I get that. I'm just more talking about like the world title and the undisputed title. Like those are synonymous, or at least they should be, and have always historically been. Because like think about what they're saying. There's a disputed champion out there, and Roman's undisputed. So like usually that term is only referred to like if you won the title in a fucked finish, right?
Right.
Like you somehow backslid Ric Flair for the fucking NWA World Championship.
Earl Hebner got you with a fast count.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, exactly. So those are disputed champions. Like, so
I mean, overall, I was kind of bummed they didn't do anything different. Like,
yeah,
it's the same belt.
Yeah, same belt with different leathers on it. Like,
yeah. The storyline's been so good though, and now they're kind of starting to break up. Him and Jimmy's, having this little, having this little tiff with them, and yeah, like I just think they're going to burn through this storyline and then end up Roman's still going to be the champion, and
yeah,
I guess they go back to being the Usos.
So
yeah,
he just made 1,000 days.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the only people ahead of him are Backlund, Hogan, and San Martino.
Did he beat No, yeah, I guess that's right.
He just beat Pedro Morales.
I was saying he beat Pedro.
He beat Pedro. So if he goes over like 3 years and some change, then it'll be over Hogan, right?
I forgot.
Or was it
held that belt for?
Or was it Backlund? I don't remember which one it was.
Backlund held it for like
those,
7 years.
So it was Hogan that held it for 3-something years.
Yeah.
Does he beat that one or does he lose it before
that? I think honestly, Roman as the top guy, I think
no 7-year reign.
He ain't doing no 7-year reign. He's never going to beat Backlund's run or Bruno's. So that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's a really good question. Like, does Hogan still have creative control? Let me ask you that question. Because that don't work for him, brother.
No, he doesn't.
He's not letting him go over.
So Hogan is the next one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say he beats Hogan and then sits somewhere right in there and stops.
I could see that. Like,
I'm going to say that.
They're in kind of a record-setting mood lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're all about the stats, and they love to make that countdown. Love to make that countdown to beating Hogan's. And they can do that now because they can use the other title over on Monday and let them change hands more.
He's going to pass Pedro Morales on June 23rd.
Oh, okay.
That's
he would pass one of Bruno's reigns.
Yeah, I was saying Bruno held a total like what 10, 12 years, something like that.
One of his reigns will pass in January, and if he holds it to September of next year, he'll beat Hogan.
I think he will.
Done.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's a great point. Now they got the new world title, so they'll just have that thing volleyed around.
Yeah, because after Mania, they could probably, or somewhere around Mania, they could start talking about that.
We're giving up any hope of ever seeing Roman Rock, right?
I don't want to see Roman Rock. To be
I definitely
honest.
The only thing I want to see if Roman Rock happen is if Roman squashes The Rock at this point.
Oh,
and which
let's see Roman Rock and Roman goes over. We can see this coming.
Yeah, we can see that, but The Rock can't go like that.
No.
It don't
Last time, every time he wrestled John Cena, he tore his pec.
I was gonna say he gets hurt every time he wrestles now. He's honestly an old man now. Let's be perfectly honest about it. He may look like $1 million, but it's all show. No go.
Let's talk about some
TV muscles.
Like all of us anymore.
Some other stuff on WWE. Have you guys seen Cameron Grimes on SmackDown at all?
To the moon.
There it is.
Eh,
Still kind of doing the same gimmick. But I heard they get ready to have a couple call-ups. Braun Breaker being one of them.
yeah.
Creed Brothers are going to SmackDown, I think. That's for the tag team division. And then either Dragunov or
Oh yes,
the other.
Ilya Dragunov. Yes.
Yes.
Bring him back. That's gonna be the guy to the throne wall. Gunther.
Oh my
right,
god.
because they got history.
Oh.
Yeah, they got.
Yes,
history.
they do.
Yeah,
Yes,
They'll-
he took the what is it, UK title off him.
Yeah.
yeah.
I could watch those two do an hour Broadway, like several times. Like
Yeah.
they just keep beating each other to a stalemate. I could just watch it forever.
Speaking of NXT, real quick, dude, that Carmelo Hayes beat Braun Breaker again. To like retain.
Mhm.
But dude, oh my god.
The match was awesome.
Carmelo Hayes did this springboard where he was gonna like jump back towards Braun Breaker.
Sure.
Braun speared the absolute fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like he broke him in half,
Right.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Tiffany Stratton's their new women's champion. They got some new faces rolling through there now.
Wesley still got it too.
Right. Funny thing too, I don't know if you guys watched last Tuesday, but Baron Corbin showed up on there.
Yeah, and Mustafa.
Mustafa Ali. So they might be mixing some guys back into the mix there with them to try to perk that up a little bit because it's been watchable the last I don't know, maybe
It's been doing well.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Battlegrounds is good.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I'd never thought Baron Corbin was main event status. Like I'm sure he's a lovely guy. It's just his style is way more NXT.
Does Baron Corbin go back to like the Lone Wolf gimmick?
It's better than the happy Corbin bullshit. Like or homeless Corbin was the best of Corbin.
Corbin,
That was my favorite Corbin.
Corbin had a fucking awesome finisher, and I think that got him a long way. Like everybody kind of loved to see that.
End of
finisher.
Days.
His entrance was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it used to be really good.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
he also used to have hair, so
he's a good worker. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like the other problem with the End of Days is think about the mechanics of his body when he does that move, and tell me that's not a limited number of times he can do that thing.
Right.
He's fucking flinging like 280-pound dudes backwards. Like it's the old man in me, just like, dude.
I mean, he's
your lumbar.
Used to be an offensive lineman.
Yeah, right. I mean, at the same time though, the Father Time comes for all of us and our joints.
Undefeated.
Father Time stops for no man.
That's all I got for WWE, boys. Let's talk about some AE dub here.
Well, real quick, were you surprised? Were you surprised at the Natalya squash?
No.
That was perfect.
I was annoyed by the Natalya squash because I thought it could have been a really good like Natalya.
Like, you barely had time to take a piss.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean,
they got to it.
Yeah, like I've been saying forever, Rhea Ripley's a fucking star. She is a goddamn megastar.
Oh yeah.
But I really would have liked to seen like a competitive match between her and Natalya with Rhea going over because those two can work their asses off. So would have loved to see it, but I get the squash though. I was more surprised they put the belt on Asuka on the rematch, which was like, okay.
Yeah, they probably felt it was time, though, as most of us have. All right, so let's rewind to my first note for AEW was back when Moxley and Omega went at it in the cage a couple weeks ago when Don Callis turned on Omega. I have to say, I was a little surprised by that. That one kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think that was ever going to happen, to be quite honest. But I'll tell you what.
I don't know if he's more annoying or not.
But the match itself, I thought was pretty good. I liked it. There were some dumb spots, but Michael, you shit on everything at AEW. So
that's not true.
Right.
MJF is a fucking god. All right?
All right. Oh, you shit on everything Omega.
No, I shit on the same match that Moxley's had 17,000 times.
True. But sometimes it's just fun to watch.
Hey, I've given
It's the
Omega
same train
credit.
wreck. It's the
Like,
same
you know,
train wreck, but you
him
watch
and
it.
Daniel Bryan was awesome. I'll give him that.
Right. Yeah. I will say this though. I think the Bucks have lost a lot of steam. Like I feel like they're kind of not over with their own crowd like much anymore.
But,
You know what
wait,
I mean?
I'm gonna need you to repeat that for me real quick.
Yeah,
What did you just say?
The Young Bucks, they've lost a lot of steam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't say.
They
If
have.
only,
They have.
if only some smarmy asshole internet commentator predicted that.
What?
That's pretty good.
What about AEW creating a show just for CM Punk on Saturdays, virtually creating like another brand for them? There's rumored to wrestlers to be featured on it other than CM Punk will
FTR.
be Miro, FTR, and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Primo, I hope you don't mind if I jump ahead of you on this one.
Go for it.
I think if it's done correctly, if they actually do all right, here's Dynamite, here's the fucking train wreck show you guys can have fun with, and you can pretend to play wrestler all you want. And here's the actual wrestling program over here, where it's like matches that make sense and tell compelling stories. I think it could be great. It all depends on what they do with it. CM Punk as the headliner, it makes sense. Although if they ever want to draw a serious fucking money, they'd put CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite. But that's never going to happen. Let's all get that out of our system right now.
Right.
The funny thing about AEW right now, especially with like Punk and like the Elite, the drama between them has been way more interesting than the TV program. And that shouldn't be a thing. Like, it really shouldn't be. Except for MJF. MJF is fucking brilliant. He is so fucking good. Like, I love MJF. And he probably doesn't give a flying fuck if I told him that, which is awesome. He's a perfect heel. I fucking love it. But yeah, like I think it's a good idea. If they do it well, it could be a good boon to AEW. Get some new eyes on the product.
Sure.
It could be a serious, like, actual wrestling program would be great instead of the clusterfuck we have on Dynamite and the 20 people that watch Rampage.
It's definitely going to be interesting, man. Like another wrestling show on another night of the week. On probably like in wrestling terms, probably the worst night of the week to put it on. But yeah, I mean,
Shit, yeah.
I mean, we're
a couple months away from college football, so
right. Everybody be DVRing that and watching it on Sunday or something.
I was gonna say, yeah, just DVR that shit, man.
Right.
So you're telling me that Whiny McGee is gonna stay in Collision and never gonna go and wrestle in the like main events of the pay-per-views and like and go and like wrestle in Dynamite?
It depends.
Like, how they going to keep Mr. Old Whiny McWinester separated from the rest of the roster?
Wait, who's Whiny McWinester?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Phil Brooks. CM Punk.
How's he Whiny McWinester? I'm confused here.
I don't know. If business is good,
He's gonna say, just fucking go with the flow, man. I like CM Punk. I really do. I just fucking just
honestly,
don't rock the boat.
I don't think he's the one rocking the boat, dude. But we can talk about that another time. But honestly, he's about business and he's about getting money and getting fucking paid, right? Which all wrestlers used to be about. Like, you would never shit on Brock Lesnar for refusing to show up on a fucking program unless he got paid. But like, that's the thing though, is like, Lesnar and Punk are playing the same game here. Punk knows his value. I would do the exact same thing in his situation. Like, I ain't fucking wrestling those goddamn idiots. Like, unless you pay me a shitload of money. Like, so, like, think about all the wrestlers, like, in history that wouldn't set a foot in the ring with, like, a bunch of people on the AEW roster.
How long until Punk gets on a mic and says, fuck you guys, Collision's the #1 show. Fuck all you Dynamite pussies. Like,
Day one.
Like, what the
hell? Day one.
And then carry on my way. That just, then we're off to the races.
I mean,
now,
they have a ratings war in their own company.
I'm happy his career's not over yet, but like, I just hope that this time it finishes on a much happier note.
I agree with that. I mean, I guess, like, to me, going back to this is like, and this is the thing to think about with, like, Punk. Go back through all of wrestling history, and so many people would refuse to work with a lot of these fuckers on AEW. Like, you think, like, Sweet Stan Lane is going to get in the ring with Orange Cassidy? You think Hogan's going to take that match seriously? Or Hennig? Or Sid Vicious? Or you think Bruno's going to give him the time of day?
If they were making the money that these guys are making these days, yes.
Money is money.
No,
yes,
they would not.
Yes,
because that's their value about being in a match with Orange Cassidy and taking it seriously. That's their drawing power later is fucking cut down. Perfect example of this. Mick Foley once, when told he was going to be working with Mark Merrow at WrestleMania, asked if he could just not be on WrestleMania. Think about that.
Sure.
Like, so this is before the time of guaranteed contracts, though, which I guess, that's the context we have to kind of consider that in.
So I didn't get to watch Double or Nothing. Read a lot of things about it. I think you guys watched it. I'll hand this over to you to briefly talk about it. I was happy with how they finally broke Jade Cargill's streak with Chris Statlander coming back and winning. That was cool. I like that spot. That was nice. But yeah. So what'd you guys think?
Real quick, the Chris Statlander win, I did like that. MJF winning with a wrestling hold, I thought was awesome. I thought that was fun. Everything else on this pay-per-view was just meh. There's a couple spots I want to talk about here, but I'm going to let Primo go first before I just unleash my vitriol on some of this shit. So Primo, please, get him.
So the mystery trio to take on House of Black was the returning Acclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Like you said, Chris Statlander she returned to defeat that undefeated streak, whatever it was, 60 matches or whatever.
It was like 60, I think, yeah.
So now we finally have a new TBS championship, the second ever holder of that belt. Here's the biggest one. MJF won the Fatal 4-Way, the Four Pillars match, in the second to last match on the card.
Yeah, the World Championship match not going on last, I have a problem with, but
yeah, that's the one thing I do have a problem with. Now I understand why they did the Anarchy in the Arena last, just because it's gonna be fucking chaos. But like, I don't know, figure it out, dude. It's not my problem to figure out. Make me happy.
Should have put that match on first.
That's what I think.
No.
But besides that, like, I don't mind BCC and versus the Elite. It was cool. It was fun to watch. Q, John Moxley bleeding.
Right.
Yeah.
That happened, of course. There was a exploding super kick. That was fun.
No.
But beyond that, like, I was actually more interested in the Four Pillars match, and I was just surprised with MJF being the fucking man right now that he wasn't on last. He didn't close the show.
Yeah. Okay, the Four Pillars match. Let's start with that one first. Jungle Boy Mr. Jack Perry looks like he could be less interested in being in this match or on a pay-per-view or wrestling anymore, to be perfectly honest. He always has that same bland look on his face no matter what's going on.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah, like when Roosh beat the shit out of him, he was like, whatever.
Another day on AEW.
Yeah. I don't know what Sammy Guevara is supposed to be anymore. Is he face? Is he heel? I don't fucking even know what he's doing. And then Darby. Yeah. Yeah. So now he's a face who's doing like what? How long until they turn him heel again? Like,
don't you know? Anytime somebody's gonna have a kid, I'm not gonna turn face.
Yeah, until they're like, man, I'm sick of looking at this guy's slappable fucking face. Like, and then Darby Allin is like the only one who's like a future main eventer. Like, Jungle Boy's done. Like, I don't know how anyone is still thinking this guy's got a future. He's the same dude he's been for 4 years. Hasn't progressed. His promo is garbage. He can't fire up. He's got no ring chemistry, no ring psychology. Like, this guy's done. Get rid of him. I'm sick of seeing this guy.
And I like Darby Allin, but I'm not sure that he'll ever be a main eventer in AEW or anywhere else for that matter. I like him a lot. I really do. He's an attraction.
Yeah, I mean, he did just compete for the world title. That was the only possible other option other than MJF. Like, MJF was 99% going to win that match. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The only 1% that could have taken him out was Darby Allin.
Like, in this match, I didn't take any of them seriously as defeated.
No. Like, they all... Darby Allin's not... No one is on MJF's level.
I just knew it was going to be fun to watch. But beyond that, I didn't have any faith in any of them to beat MJF.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
And it's the same clusterfuck match that all 3-mans and 4-men are. Like, they're all clusterfuck matches. And it's hard to watch because it's like, I don't even know what's going on. You have to ignore the fact that people just disappear for long-ass periods of time for no reason during these matches. So, yeah, like, MJF was definitely going to win that match. And then the other 3, I'm like, it's not even close. He is head and shoulders above them. Yeah, so that's the 4 pillars match. I like MJF. I think he's the best thing in that company right now. Okay. Would you want to talk about the insane, ridiculous, dumbass battle royale? You want to talk about the fucking stupid ass Anarchy in the Arena match? Like, which one do you want to go to next?
Let's hear about the Anarchy in the Arena.
Okay, let's start with
that can of
bullshit.
worms.
Let's open up the elephant in the room. First of all, blackface.
Oh,
I keep forgetting about that. The beginning. Motherfucking guy comes out in blackface, which is like, okay, and then like no one is like, maybe don't do that, guy. Maybe that's a little too far.
I forgot. Yeah. And then on top of that, like, that almost makes you be like, that did annoy me more than him playing Wild Thing out half the match.
That's the other thing too, is like, yeah. So then they play Wild Thing like 3 or 4 times, something like that. Until I don't remember which one of the Young Bucks like super kicks him and like,
I think it was a troll. Like, it was a purposefully done thing, obviously, but it was annoying.
It was annoying. Yeah, they did that thing where the joke is funny and then it goes way too fucking far, and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm just annoyed. Okay, Anarchy in the Arena. Here's a couple spots. I think they're just, what the fuck is wrong with this company? The exploding super kick. Let's start with that one. Do you know how goddamn stupid that spot is if you really think about it? An exploding, it means the dude's head should have come off with the fucking kick. Or his leg. One of the two. It's an explosion. Okay.
It's like a firework.
But here's the thing about this. Okay. If you're not going to acknowledge the fact that someone's off screen gimmicking the fuck out of this boot, right? let's just say it was presented in a totally kayfabe way, which it wasn't, which is one of the big reasons I have with this fucking match, is like, they were doing all this extreme badass stuff, but it's so obviously cooperative. There's no animosity. This isn't Tully and Magnum, everybody. This is some jerk off people jerking each other off with jerk off weapons and jerk off blade jobs. So the exploding super kick. Let's start with that one. You're telling me this motherfucker's got nitroglycerin on his fucking boot?
Fuck yeah, he does.
He might. He had time after Moxley Cesaro murdered him outside. So
who would give this little shit nitroglycerin? Like, think about that.
He put like a blackjack on the bottom of his Nike.
It is ridiculous. Okay, so what do? Blackpool Combat Club. Obviously, like that guy's fucking boot exploded. We need to do something about this. The Young Buck A, I don't fucking know, is then like, you know what would be a good idea? If you drop me barefoot into a pile of thumbtacks.
Oh my gosh,
cool.
I forgot about that.
It's like, you disgusting little bastard. Like, are you serious?
That sucks. And they didn't stop rolling in it.
No,
Right.
that's the thing. Like, not only did this guy have to agree to this shit, but he's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And then, like, tacks in the mouth for the uppercut. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is so phony.
They've done that spot before.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, man. So I watch this shit.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
It's like
here's my
ridiculous
problem,
laugh.
I couldn't stop laughing from the blackface thing, to be perfectly honest.
The whole thing was a train wreck.
Match.
It's meant to be a car crash. Yes.
Even the announcers, though, were like, "It's really hard to follow what's going on here." It's like, yeah,
that was the hardest thing because they were literally in separate parts of the arena. So it was like, pan over here. Now we don't. They were the part. They actually panned away when Moxley was about to put Omega through the barbed wire table.
Yeah,
and then they come back. It's like, oh, he's gonna be putting him through the barbed wire. I'm like, why would y'all not keep the camera on that?
Stay there, right? Yeah.
Also, like, who was getting stabbed in the head with the screwdriver? Moxley was stabbing somebody with a screwdriver.
It was Hangman originally, and then they started stabbing Omega.
So, okay. Dude got stabbed in the head with a screwdriver. You'd be fucking dead. Like, that's all there is to it. Dead.
That's why Hangman was wearing an eye patch.
But he didn't need it, which was supposed to be like
his eye back.
Big swerve.
It's like Rey Mysterio.
Fucking hate this bullshit. And you talked about, like, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, fine. If you like deathmatch fuckery, go for it. Enjoy this overproduced, obviously cooperative nonsense. Later in their little press scrum, even MJF, their top guy, is like, this stuff is fucking stupid, and wrestling fans are fucking morons, and bloodthirsty as hell, and they don't care about you. Stop doing stupid bullshit. So, this is my problem. This goes back to fucking ECW, CZW, any fucking light tube match. I hate this shit.
Right.
And it's not because it's like, oh, it's so extreme and hardcore. It's like, this is fucking dumb. Dumb.
Okay.
What's the talent? Tell me what's talented about this. Like, you mentioned the Young Bucks aren't even over with their own fucking fans anymore, and they're not. Right. That's a very good observation, not made by me. Thank you.
Two things. Number one, Forbes gives this match an A.
Who?
But also Forbes.
Forbes magazine.
Yes. But also they reminded me at the end, Don Callis and Takeshita came out, and they are the ones that helped BCC win.
Yeah. He's got a new crony.
Like, we okay, here's another thing I'm going to ask you guys, and this is a genuine question. I really need an answer to this. Why is everything a gimmick match? Why has everything got to be a gimmick match?
It's just their thing, man.
Well,
it's just
they let's see. They did the Jade Cargill versus Chris Statlander was a regular match because she returned. Oh, by the way, that was kind of okay. It was dumb, but it was cool. Like, it was okay because Chris Statlander returned, she got the title, but Jade Cargill literally just finished a match. And then she goes, I'll fight anybody, anywhere, any place. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to put my title on the line. Anyway, Forbes gave this match an F.
That's a gimmick match. An open challenge is absolutely a gimmick match.
Let's see. FTR defeated Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in a regular tag team match.
No, it wasn't. There was a fucking special referee.
JEFFJARRE.
Oh, Adam Cole defeated Chris Jericho.
A Falls Count Anywhere street fight match, right?
That was a street fight match.
Gimmick match. Gimmick fucking match.
Not even gonna mention the ladder match for the TNT title.
Gimmick match.
I can't wait to be alone with my
The trios match.
Trios is a gimmick match. It's a gimmick title. Like, they can't do non-gimmick match. It's such like market.
Is a Fatal 4-Way gimmick match?
Yes, it absolutely is.
Okay, all right. Then they were all gimmick
unless
matches.
It's a regular contest for one fall. Anything else?
One fall.
Everything with them.
You
is
like when the crowd does that, Dirty? When you do it?
Yeah, I do like it.
It drives me goddamn insane. Like, this is what would happen if like an 8-year-old was staying up all night. Like, okay, then we have a ladder match, and then we have a cage match.
This is what happens whenever I play WWE 2K23. All of my matches are like this.
Yeah, it's not a video game.
Okay, all right.
Exploding.
Moving on.
Let's move on, man. Let's talk about a few things here. Just some news and notes. Dark Side of the Ring. And a lot of people in the wrestling world know about this show. It just returned. It's on Vice TV, but you can pick it up on like Hulu and other places like that. It's like season 4 just started up.
2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just finished the Chris Candido, Tammy Sitch, aka Sunny, show that was the first episode of the season. Really good, really cool. If you don't know much about Chris Candido, one of the best wrestlers ever, and that's probably, a lot of people would say that, like, just one of the best inside the ring. But, obviously tragic story. That's why it's on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
I am super pumped about the one that's coming on this week because they're going to be tapping into my childhood when they talk about Magnum TA, who was, going to be the next big thing in NWA wrestling. We'd all know this guy's name by now. He looked like $1 million, could wrestle like out of this world. Was already feuding with Flair and Dusty Rhodes and ended up having a bad accident. But go check this one out, man. I know it's going to be good. I remember seeing this come across the news when I lived in Charlotte at the time, because where he had the wreck was in Charlotte. So this one's going to be awesome. Now, some of these, a lot of people I feel like they either love or hate this series. Some of them do it. Some of them do things great justice, and other ones, kind of not so much. But I feel like they've gotten a little more less tasteless since they first started. When they first started, they were kind of like, hitting some hardcore stories. But yeah, so this was going to be fun to check that one out. But I want to talk about real quick too, man. So we're starting to talk about Forbidden Door coming up here pretty soon. Some of the matches they're going to make, with AEW and New Japan. What about because Daniel Bryan's starting to talk about Okada an awful lot. I think that would be a pretty sweet match to watch. I'd love to see Okada and Bryan go at it. I think that would be pretty sweet. Nothing too funny I seen on the internet today was it said Dominic Mysterio made his WWE debut 20 years ago today. When he was talking about being in the business 20 something years already,
Yeah, the Ray Eddie feud.
Yeah, the Ray Eddie feud. And there was one spot during the feud where he went running into the ring to hug Ray when he's just a little kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, and but that was funny. What about Money in the Bank, man? I mean, LA Knight seems like a pretty popular pick to win Money in the Bank. Shinsuke's already in it. Who's the third one that's already in it? AJ?
I think, man, like I love the idea of LA Knight winning it, but I admire your optimism, man.
Well,
Like,
yeah, and I think it's got to be a heel for Seth, right?
yeah.
They ain't getting cashed in on.
No one's cashing in on Roman.
No.
Yeah. You got to show up for that to happen.
Right.
But yeah, like you're right. It's got to be a heel. I don't think Seth's going to be dropping that belt anytime soon.
So should it be a Raw superstar that challenges?
Could be. Like,
yeah, there you go. That's another thing too to think about. Who's on what brand? Because
I could see like,
oh, this is an exception here. Since LA Knight won, he wants to challenge Seth, though. So he is now officially on the Raw brand. You know, so
yeah. I mean, like
breaking news: a trade has come in.
Yeah. Like you guys mentioned earlier, like the fucking draft means nothing already. Like it's already done, and who cares? Yeah, I don't see them doing anything with LA Knight is the problem. Like they have already like just done nothing with this poor guy.
Right.
They really let me down with Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
No kidding. Did you guys see? It was Macklin, I believe, the Impact champion. He was stapling PCO's mouth together.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah. Go look that up, man. That's pretty nuts.
So is Macklin doing it?
I'm pretty sure it was Macklin.
Hey, he's the champion.
Yeah, he was the one doing it. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. But listen, I got a small little segment here for you today, boys.
All right.
I'm going to date myself here. Just something fun here. All right, so your boy graduated from high school 30 years ago today. June 5th, 1993, I graduated from Lincoln High School in Lincoln, North Carolina. And I was just thinking about what was going on in wrestling during that time because I remember a few things had going on. I remember Bret Hart won the King of the Ring just a few days, maybe a week or so after I got out of school. Like I remember that being like the first kind of big wrestling thing. I remember Yokozuna was the WWF champion. I wasn't sure about timelines because they all got kind of jumbled, but I went and looked it up. Vader was the WCW champion when I graduated high school.
Right. That was whenever he was wrestling Sting.
Yeah. Outside of wrestling, I remember it was Jordan versus Charles Barkley, Bulls versus Suns. We know who won. It doesn't matter. I remember Dr. Dre, The Chronic was really hot on the radio.
Nice.
Yeah, back then, like when they played songs on the radio, everybody listened to. But
I don't listen to the radio very much anymore.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you listen to it on streaming now mostly. But so yeah, I was just thinking about what was going on during the wrestling time but that was basically it. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
1993. Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble that year too.
What a year.
I guess he cashed in.
That was 30 fucking years ago.
30 years ago, dude.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Bret Hart won King of the Ring.
Yeah. By the way, just looked up the PCO thing. That's fucking disgusting.
Oh yeah, no, ain't that gross?
Yeah.
I can't. That was a little far for. Like he was taking those staples too. I mean, that dude is a monster. He's like, he's crazy.
Like, this shit needs to stop with this goddamn blood and gore fest. Like, it needs to stop. Like, it's just annoying at this point. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you're right. That's gross. If you wanted,
They need their own channel. Go put that over on their own channel.
Yeah, you can have all like the CZW shit and like all this other extreme. Just have it's just John Moxley all the time. There you go.
Right.
Like,
So you
yeah.
sit down on your couch to watch a show, your forehead starts bleeding.
It's like, oh, I got hepatitis. God damn it.
Yeah.
You have to go get a blood test before you watch that channel.
Mama, bring me the pizza cutter.
Yeah.
Like, you got ASAJ is a no-show today, so we'll catch him next month. You guys got anything else in the world of wrestling you want to talk about before we go here?
WWE signed a multi-year deal with Twitch.
Did
Really?
they? I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
What, to have like wrestlers play games on there and stuff?
I don't know what all they're gonna do. I know, like currently, like literally right now, the WWE channel is live with a WWE Raw sidecast.
Oh,
Really? So are they going to be doing like live feeds on it for like their weekly shows, or?
I think it's just a live commentators like as watch along thing right now. Like you got to pay to play, so I don't think they're gonna let you watch USA Network on.
No, I was going to say I don't think they'll.
Yeah.
They still have a deal with like USA and Fox, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like they're not actually showing the show. There's just these people are talking about it that are like Drew Gulak is one of them.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Well, it looks
He's on
like
Twitch
he's
now.
on Twitch.
Looks like
he's
he's on
showing
Twitch.
everybody Planters peanuts right now. So good for him.
Good point. He's probably on Twitch now, idiot. You've got me on this one, Primo.
Right.
Yeah, like the only other thing that I thought was interesting. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring. I just want to go back to this. If you haven't checked out Dark Side of the Ring, really good series. If you want to learn about like the history and behind the scenes stuff of pro wrestling, it's pretty enlightening. So yeah, check it out. Always a good one. Chris Candido, again, tragic story. But yeah, I completely agree with you on this one. Is that he was a phenomenal in-ring talent, and yeah. So looking forward to seeing that one. Haven't seen it yet. But yeah, Magnum TA is going to be hard to watch. That's
oh man, I'm gonna be in my feels tomorrow night, man. Yeah, I was such a big, like, he was one of the big baby faces. My dad liked all the heels, and I didn't understand why, and and I always liked the baby faces of Ricky Morton, Magnum TA, and Dusty Rhodes, right? Yeah. And Adam was right there with you, man. They're going to talk about the '85 I Quit match.
Classic.
Yeah. And after, it wasn't long after that when, he was they were about to put the rocket on him, man, and he was going to take over because not only, he could basically do just about everything Flair could, except he wasn't as flashy, but as far as like he could hang on the mic, he could hang in the ring. He looked great, Yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. So, but all right, boys, it's good to catch up with you guys. I guess we'll see AJ next time, and thanks for hanging out, boys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man, and acknowledging that the Young Bucks are fledgling.
I acknowledge. All right, for Michael, Primo, and myself, AJ, we'll see you guys all next time. Sort of, kind of, top guys out.